J-ik, while standing mid-air, tells them that they're supposed to sit down and fasten their seatbelt because of their disturbance on the plane. "What are adults like you doing, behaving like that in the plane?" he asks. Misha compliments J-ik for having such abilities which are too great for a mere mortal. Lucifer replies that it's because J-ik is an apex hybrid. Misha replies that only archangels or higher ranks can fly high in the sky without wings. J-ik asks them why they're always saying something about flying, because at that moment he actually didn't realize that he was flying yet. He notices that he currently can't feel the floor of the plane. He looks down and sees that he is standing in the sky and starts to lose consciousness. Misha states that even if J-ik is an apex hybrid, he has still not matured yet. After seeing J-ik, for a moment Misha forgot that she was fighting Lucifer. She again swings her sword at him. Lucifer dodges and tells Mika that he must save a friend who is currently falling. "Friend? You mean to say you have a friend?" she asks. Lucifer replies that this friend is bound to follow him and will eventually grow to like him. He says that they're going to become best friends soon. Moreover, in his opinion, J-ik will admire him and be drawn to his charm, yearning for more. Michael replies that no one will ever admire a person like Lucifer. "Shall we make a bet then?" Lucifer asks. Michael gets angrily and tells him to be silent because she will pierce that deceitful tongue of his. In the meantime, as J-ik was falling from the sky, Hanael comes flying in full speed and rescues him. She catches J-ik with one hand while holding Michael's spear on the other. She tells J-ik to come to his senses. J-ik calls her name, but he is still feeling dizzy. On the contrary, Michael releases another spear at Lucifer, which cuts through his right shoulder, and the spear, after piercing Lucifer's right side, suddenly gets blasted with lightning. Lucifer quickly flies away from the danger and gets behind Michael. Lucifer, while recovering his body, says that he'd rather not have his tongue pierced, so it's indeed a wise choice to keep his distance from her. At that moment, Hanael appears in front of Lady Michael and tells her that her carelessness when throwing the spear could have caused serious harm to innocent humans. Hanael leaves J-ik on the cloud while advising him to pull himself together and tells him to stay still. "Are we standing on the ground?" J-ik asks. Hanael replies that it's not the ground, but as they are above the cloud, the lack of visibility below him will give him a sense of psychological stability. So he must be able to stand still. J-ik replies that it's expected from an angel to come up with an awesome solution this quickly. Hanael goes near Michael to give her spear back. However, Hanael implores her to cease this reckless fighting. Michael finally gets her spear back. She says that now that she has justice in her grasp, she'll make sure to pierce Lucifer through and through. Lucifer tells her to go easy on him, considering their past, as they were allies once. Lucifer asks whether she has forgotten about their sweet past. Michael replies that if Lucifer goes on and on like this, she will actually pierce his tongue for real. She explains that she is doing this precisely because they were friends once, and a close one at that. "What? The two of them were close at one point?" J-ik asks from behind. Michael replies that originally all enmity begins from times of friendship. In the past, when Michael was hunting and killing monsters regarded as titans with Lucifer. It was Lucifer's first day of hunting. Lucifer was mesmerized, amazed, and impressed at the same time by seeing Michael's attack power, because at that time even Lucifer's blade couldn't penetrate the skin of a titan. It was his first day, and he aimed that one day he would annihilate all the monsters, but he was unsure when that day would come. He dealt the final blow on the Titan. After killing the Titan, he came right back at Michael to tell her that from today onwards, he will strive to learn from someone like her as his mentor. Lucifer said that Michael always wears her uniform with dignity, and she is a role model worth following. So one day he hoped to become an archangel just like Michael because he really admired her. Misha replies that of all the angels she has seen recently, Lucifer is definitely the most ambitious one. The path to becoming a high-ranking angel is quite straightforward. So she told him to just perform more acts of righteousness than anyone else. "How do you enact justice?" he asked. Michael replied that enacting justice is all about delivering judgment to those deemed most evil among the wicked, and there's no quicker way to advance in rank. Lucifer asks whether there is any need for something like honor points. Michael answered that it's all about the achievements. The key is to vanquish greater and mightier evils every time. She told him not to worry about the hardships as she'll be there to assist him, because she highly regarded his passion for justice. When they were together, they fought and killed countless monsters and maintained a good relationship. Then, things started to change as they stumbled across the blue dragon which Michael always wanted to catch. Catching the blue dragon will help both of them to increase their ranks. They both thanked each other for their support and promised to never forget these happy moments which they shared together. It also included the memory of them landing the finishing blow together. "Wait a minute. Were you two actually closer in the past than I realized?" J-Ik asks while making a shocking face. Michael shouts by saying that they were not close. It was nothing more than a vile deception. Lucifer agrees that he may have acted like he was at the lower-level angel to make things easier for him, but he says that the time they spent together was neither a scam nor deception. Michael shouts at Lucifer while telling him to remember the time when they took down the ultimate blue dragon when she asked Lucifer whether he could feel his rank rising. It was really a shocking moment for Michael to hear Lucifer saying that he can feel it, the feeling of a profound sense of liberation deep within him. Lucifer was talking about that kind of liberation which Michael never ever expected from Lucifer. Bound by the heavenly seals, Lucifer sensed his true liberation being unleashed. He thanked Michael because of her, his seal, which was enchanted by the blue dragon, has finally been broken, and he doubted whether he could ever defeat it alone. Thanks to her, he can now leave to seek the ultimate freedom that is beyond angels and devils. Lastly, he turned his back on Michael and told her that when she returns to the heaven, she must tell them that he, Lucifer, has finally chosen the path of a freelancer who is no longer bounded by any chains. At present, Michael again throws her spear at Lucifer, which pierces his body from the middle. Lucifer says that fighting while talking about the past makes him hesitate and uncomfortable to attack. Moreover, he knows how the story goes, but he still wanted to hear it again. The spear again goes to fall on the ground. In the meantime, Scalpel notices that the danger gauge has sparked again, and if this keeps up, it might trigger a mini Armageddon, so he speeds up in order to stop that. In the past, when Michael was in confinement, she remembered how that deception felt. A deception and a humiliation which was aimed at her. Her self-esteem had fallen to depths deeper than hell, and her mind was left with nothing but ruins. Yet after a period of aimlessness, she came to a decision. She made a promise to herself that she will find Lucifer and kill him. At present, J-Ik asked Michael whether she is fighting this intensely just because her ego was bruised by a once close comrade. Heniel tells J-Ik not to be reckless because it's not worth mentioning. Michael, while spreading her wings even wider, conveys that there are things that humans cannot understand like pride and honor, which are virtually everything to an archangel. These words make J-Ik even angry. He says that an archangel shouldn't go this far and take such length over something so insignificant as an ego. Heniel holds J-Ik's arm and tells him that he shouldn't step any further as it will be dangerous. J-Ik makes a run towards the fight, saying that he can't tolerate this anymore. Heniel shouts at J-Ik, telling him that he mustn't succumb to anger. J-Ik runs in full speed, but he notices that he can't stop his legs by his own will now. Michael and Lucifer are fighting and Jae-ik passed right through them, climbing up to the sky. Hanael gets confused by thinking whether Jae-ik wants to stop the fight or make them fight more. Jae-ik can't control his strength, and he can't even control his speed. It was so fast that he reached the outer edge of the atmosphere in mere moments. On Earth, Michael's spear is about to hit the ground again, but Scalpel catches it in the nick of time. He says that if he wasn't here, the mini-Armageddon was nearly about to happen. He then rushes to the fighting area and recognizes Lucifer just by seeing his back. He says that even at a fleeting glance, he can tell who it is, because Lucifer is his favorite idol, the one who has always been the source of his obsession. Someday he vowed to become a demon like Lucifer. He has made this promise again and again. He can't control his saliva when he is standing beside his idol. He tells Lucifer to take him in. "What do you mean?" Lucifer asks. Scalpel then gives Michael's spear of justice to Lucifer. He says that he never thought he would meet his idol like that, and as a fan, he feels truly blessed. He says that he is a fan who even attended Lucifer's concerts, but as a fan, he doesn't have much to offer to Lucifer. So he tells Lucifer to accept this spear while asking for his autograph. Lucifer smiles as he says that this is the most meaningful gift that he has received and asks Scalpel for his name. Scalpel happily introduces himself while blushing as he stands like a soldier who is greeting his general commander. In outer space, Jae-ik finally regains control over his body. He thinks that sound can't travel in the vacuum of space, so he tries to use it to his advantage as he flies towards Earth in full speed by his own will. Michael tells Lucifer that it's quite daring of him to use justice by his own hand. Lucifer says that if she ceases her attacks now, he will not retaliate any further. "Do you believe yourself worthy to wield justice?" Michael asks while screaming. Lucifer replies that true justice lies in the actions of the one who holds it, be it his hand or another's, as he swings the spear at Michael. Misha dodges it, and both of them make some distance around them. Michael charges forward first, with her sword to attack Lucifer, but Lucifer blocks it with the spear, also known as the Justice. Michael taunts Lucifer by saying that he should probably put down the spear if he can't handle it properly. Lucifer replies that he can quickly improve his proficiency if needed. Michael then rotates her sword as fast as possible, which makes Lucifer to retreat backwards. Lucifer says that he is willing to put the spear down if Michael wants him to. Michael replies that it's too late for that, and Lucifer needs to die before doing that. At that moment, Jae-ik comes back, while shouting that he has mastered how to levitate. He tells them to stop fighting. Meanwhile, Lucifer tells Michael that he will return her spear, justice, in his own way. "How does it feel to be struck down by your own spear?" he asks as he throws the justice towards Michael. Michael states that justice is not something for the likes of him to shout about recklessly, as she dodges the attack which eventually hits Jae-ik. Jae-ik loses his consciousness as he gets a critical hit from the justice and starts falling towards the ground. Hanael notices it and flies in order to catch Jae-ik, but at that time she notices that Scalpel is also flying towards Jae-ik. Scalpel tells himself that he mustn't let the spear hit the ground and he must stop it at any cost. Hanael wonders why is Scalpel doing that. Scalpel catches the spear and he wishes to return it to Lucifer again, but then he realizes that the tip of the spear has disappeared. Hanael passes through Scalpel at full speed while saying that she figures that it doesn't make sense for Scalpel to help Jae-ik so proactively. Meanwhile, Michael realizes that she can't sense her justice anymore, and Hanael is the only one who can save Jae-ik now. Hanael flies towards Jae-ik and says that this is the most important job she has ever been entrusted with, to protect Jae-ik and to ensure he doesn't get hurt. Hanael dives faster and says that she would be unworthy of being a guardian if she is unable to protect Jae-ik. Hanael gets beneath Jae-ik and stops saying that she will save him no matter what it takes. Jek then falls directly towards Henel. She catches Jek safely and looks at his stomach where the spear hits. She gets shocked to see that the spear tip is nowhere to be seen, and the wound is already healed. Michael and Lucifer sees this from high up in the sky. Michael says that the reason the spear tip is gone is because Jek has absorbed it into his body. On the other hand, we can see Azrael is shouting Scalpel's name, and there was no response, so he gets nervous. As if a catastrophe like the mini-Armageddon were to occur because of his negligence, he might be cast down into an even deeper abyss as punishment. While he is thinking this, his hands binding gets broken, and after that the chair bursts, and it throws Azrael on the ground. Azrael is utterly in shock due to the unexpected release of the bindings. Azrael also feels that the power of judgment has weakened. Later, an explosive occurs in the lava, and a huge beam of lava erupted. From that lava, a demon appears and shouts that the chains of hell has loosened. Azrael is scared to see all this. The demon gets up and says that the power of Michael, who had condemned them, has weakened. The demon also says that even though he has not yielded throughout the years of suffering, he never expected to be released so suddenly. This demon is the great demon of prophecy, the unrepentant long-timer, the great king Angoulême. Angoulême then takes his feet from the lava and steps on the place where Azrael is sitting. Azrael sees this coming, so he quickly jumps aside to avoid being smashed. "Arise, all who have been judged! Prove that you were not wrong," Angoulême shouts. Azrael is about to fall on the lava, but he somehow grabs the rock and climbs it up. Due to Angoulême's calling, tiny demons get out of the lava. Angoulême then points his finger towards the exit and shouts, "To those who recklessly swung the sword of judgment without evidence, unleash your deep-seated vengeance." He tells this to the lower demons, and that gets hyped up and jumps towards the exit. On the outside, Michael is about to attack Lucifer, but Lucifer is not willing to continue the fight, so he tells Michael to wait. But Michael didn't listen to him and launched her attack. Lucifer dodges the attack and tells her to look behind. Michael looks behind and shouts, Titan! Why is that giant here?" The Titan looks at them angrily and tells that he is here because both of them are his archenemies. Seeing the Titan, Lucifer starts to talk about the day when humanity witnessed the fear of being dominated by the Titans. Michael gets behind Lucifer and says that what he is suddenly talking about. Lucifer blushes and tells that he can't help but monologue when he sees a Titan. The giant makes it move and throws a punch at them. The both of them dodges the punch. As Lucifer dodges the punch, he tells the giant that why is he attacking him as they used to, allies in the same evil faction. While Lucifer is saying this at that time, a huge fire hits him, but Lucifer turns into ash to avoid being executed. Lucifer falls back and reassembles beside Michael and asked, "What in the world is happening as the blue dragon has been freed as well?" It appears that the absolute evils that were judged have risen in revolt, exploiting the weakened state of justice, Michael replies. Hearing this, Lucifer asked that if everyone who was judged been set free. Michael replied, "No," and says that it seems only those whom he and she had judged have been released. In the meantime, the lower demons, along with Angoulême, has get on the surface. Angoulême stands on the ground and tells his guys to run rampant, as this is their tour to pass on judgment. Azrael also comes out of the hole and tells Scalpel that Angoulême once sought to trigger the true Armageddon, but was sealed away when his conspiracy was exposed by the prophecies. Scalpel gets shocked to hear this and tells Azrael to wait, as this is his role. In the meantime, the Titan continues his attacks on Lucifer, but Lucifer avoids all of them. Scalpel then gets closer to Lucifer and tells him that a being named Angoulême has brought all the damned souls of hell to the surface. Lucifer gets worried and asked Michael that if they also had judged Angoulême. Not exactly, but it seems he's taken advantage of the current situation to bring with him others who were judged for different reasons. Michael replies. The Titan rises his hand high up in the sky and grabs all the clouds and makes a tight fist and punched Lucifer. Lucifer turns to ash and dodges it. The punch fells on the mountain and the mountain turns into dust. Michael, even if you plan to punish me later, let's form an alliance for now. Although it's just the two of us, if we combine our strengths like old times, we can defeat them. Lucifer falls back and tells this to Michael. Michael agrees to hold on his judgment, but she didn't agree to team up with an evil. After that, Michael steps on the Titan's arm and starts to move towards its head. Michael gets serious and she uses her powers and quickly flies to the back of the Titan and make a cut on his neck. The Titan's neck starts to bleed and he shouts in pain. As Michael is fighting the Titan, so Lucifer decides to take care of the blue dragon. In the ground, Hanael is holding Jae-ik in her arms, and Golmo and his army is rushing towards them. Hanael sees them and gets worried as Jae-ik is currently unconscious. So Hanael tries to wake him up, but Jae-ik is making weird faces and his face starts to sweat a lot. It seems like Jae-ik is having a dream. In the dream, someone is calling him and says, "Him baby." Jae-ik asked who it is and says that he is no baby. Though he is still a minor, he is of age to obtain a scooter license. After that, we can says in the dark, a lady appears with her head wrapped around in white cloth. The lady reach out her hand towards Jae-ik and says that, by a stroke of serendipity, she has finally gotten the chance to meet him. Jae-ik gets shocked, and he asked her if by any chance she is her real mom. As Jae-ik asks the question, he sees that a bright blue light come towards him from above, and he also hears that someone is chanting spicy pork. Hearing the word spicy pork, Jae-ik also starts to think about that. And while saying spicy pork, he opens his eyes and gets up and screams spicy pork. Seeing this, Hanael thanks the heavens that her magic worked on Jae-ik. "Do you know who I saw in my dream?" Jae-ik asked. Hanael replies that she know, but now's not the time for that. She then points towards the running demons and tells Jae-ik that they are coming for them. Angolmo and his subordinates are running at full speed, and they have the strong determination for taking their vengeance. Seeing this demons, Jae-ik asked Hanael that if they should take them down. Jae-ik, don't judge them by appearances. We have no business fighting those beings. They might just be victims of justice, for all we know. Hanael says this to Jae-ik. After hearing the word justice, Jae-ik's chest glow up. Jae-ik's hair turns full black, and due to his power, his shirt gets shredded into pieces. And now Jae-ik can feel the burning urge inside him to pass down a judgment on this demons. On the other hand, the giant slangs Michael and tries to grab her. Michael floats in front of the giant and says that she holds no personal grudges against him. But however, she has to pass down the judgment as once absolute evil, always absolute evil. The giant says that his resentment overflows, and if be catch, he will tear her apart. After that, Michael makes her move, and with a single slash, she cuts the arm of the Titan in half, and she says that if she is to be broken to pieces, she might as well accept her fate. On the other side, the blue dragon and Lucifer is facing of each other. The dragon tells Lucifer that he will make him pay for what he has done to him. Lucifer hold back and asked the dragon that why is he only attacking him as Michael was also there with him. The dragon stays silent and starts to build up his breathe. After some time, the dragon throws a huge fireball at Lucifer. The fire surrounds Lucifer, but again he uses his ash magic and gets out of there. On the ground, Angolmo is running and shouting to motivate his subordinates, but after a while he gets tired and stops to take some fresh air. As he was resting of a long time in hell, his stamina has dropped. As he is resting, he feels that a rat is tailing him. It is Azra'el that is rushing towards him to attack. Angolmo notices it as dodges the attack. He then kicks Azra'el and Azra'el flies away. In the mid-air, Azra'el gets his angel powers back, and he spreads his blue wings and floats in the air. He then takes out his pistol and points it at Angoulême and says that, as an angel, his duty is to pushing the rampaging demon. Saying this, he shoots at Angoulême. Angoulême blocks the bullets with his arms and tells Azricel that there's no reason for the both of them to fight, and he see no reason to be labeled a criminal either. Azricel lands on the ground, and while pointing the gun at Angoulême, he says that escaping the hell is a sin, and as an angel, he has witnessed the escape, so now he can't ignore this. Hearing this, Angoulême says that if Azricel have been following him for that long and witnessed the escape, then it means he have escaped from the prison too. So Angoulême won't accept being the only one branded a criminal just because of their positions as angels and demons. Isn't it inevitable? Since it was the fundamental difference between angels and demons, Azricel loads his gun and says this. He then gives a deadly look at Angoulême. After that, as Azricel fires his gun, the ground beneath Angoulême starts to shake and the ground opens, leading the way to hell. Some red-black ropes-like thing comes out of there and warps around Angoulême and drags him into the pits of hell. On Jaik's side, he rushed towards the lowly demons and with his newly awakened justice powers. He gets there and starts to punch the demons. From his one punch, the demons flies away and dies instantly. Hanael is seeing this from behind, and she feels a bit sad. Jaik is killing the demons merciless. As Hanael is unable to see this inhuman side of Jaik, so she tells him to stop. She also tells Jaik that the reason he is acting like this is because of the spear shroud, which is embedded in him. Jaik stops for a bit and looks at his hand and tells Hanael that if he don't strike those vile-looking ones, he get this unbearable itch all over. Hanael tells him that the curse of Michael has been stuck on him. In the meantime, the demons surrounded Jaik. Jaik then uses a blust and kills the demons that surrounds him. Now, as all the demons are gone, Jaik clams down and he feels slightly better. Hanael comes towards him and tells him to try to endure it. Jaik tells Hanael that he hears a voice like a Bluetooth earphone from the space between his esophagus and diaphragm saying he must carry out justice. Hanael understands this. She then tells him to clam down while she finds a way to extract that shroud out of him. While all of this is occurring, Lucifer tries his best to run away from the Blue Dragon's attacks. He gets on the ground and starts to run, following him. The dragon also gets down and tries to smash him with his claws, but Lucifer saves himself by turning into ash. Lucifer reassembles in front of the dragon's mouth and tells him that he is disappointed in him as considering the weight class and the proportion of attacks isn't using his breath on him. The underdog, a bit of an overkill. The dragon gives a serious look and says that the weight of the name Lucifer is not that light to be called an underdog, and Lucifer is concealing his strength, as he is not one to dodge without countering his attacks. Lucifer gets shy and tells the dragon that that's long story and he hasn't recovered his full strength yet. Now the dragon again prepares to attack as he wants to put an end to Lucifer's life. As the dragon is about to attack at that time, Jaik comes and punched at the head of the dragon. The punch was so powerful that the dragon falls on the ground. Jaik then tells the dragon that oppressing the weak is not just, and as someone who embodies justice, he cannot stand such injustice. Is ambushing now suddenly a just action? The dragon asked. Jaik replies that helping a friend who has once shown you kindness can also be considered justice. Hearing this, Lucifer holds Jaik's hand and thanks him for not forgetting him. Seeing Lucifer, Jaik gets angry and shouts that Lucifer is an absolute evil. He then grabs Lucifer's hand tightly and pulls him towards him and throws a couple of punches. Due to Lucifer's ability, he gets out of there unscratched. He gets behind Jaik and tells him that they agreed to be friends, and now attacking a friend like this tarnishes all the moments they have shared together. Jaik gets furious and he turns around and throws a punch with all of his strength. As the attack is about to land on Lucifer at that time, Scalpel gets there and pulls Lucifer out of there. In the meantime, the dragon recovers and he gets up as J. Ik is showing his back to his enemy. The dragon tells J.A. Ik that this is just an invitation for a sneak attack. Hearing this, J. Ik turns his head and looks at the dragon angrily.